Hi guys, right, carrying on from where we left off with when we'd taken Poland. What I've done now, I'm setting this up and I'm going to pause the recording and give you a talk through how things progress. What I've done at the moment, I've got a single training army which is improving all of the normal troops up to the next level. And they're in sort of a fallback line which I've set up by clicking on the fallback line. It's as a line to protect the airfields right the way behind the border. So if my frontline troops get pushed back, there's this training army which is in position that I can stop the training and have them there to defend, ready just in case. So that's that, as well as them producing troops to go into the front line. Now what I've got on the front line, you can see the star here for regular troops. They gain plus 25% in combat. It's really, really useful. And so what I've got is this front line right the way along the border with a field marshal covering the whole area right the way down. And as soon as a training unit finishes in here, if it's a normal infantry division, then it goes straight in to the field marshal's control. If it's a special unit like the Panzer division here, which at the moment is setting up with anti-air, artillery, tanks, and then light self-propelled artillery is the next thing which will be coming in to give them even more punch to break through. Plus the SS divisions which will be joining them as well. So when they're in, they will be joining this third army, which is under von Manstein, which is just going to be here in the centre, and it's going to punch straight through the centre of the Russian lines, and then follow up here along the coast of the edge of the river, and then slam back into this upper area of Russian troops, encircling this whole area. I'm going to encircle this pocket. That's the plan. Encircle the pocket, deal with that pocket, move everyone forward, and then flip the same thing, form a line, and then slam the same unit straight back down and around this half of the circle. So to create two huge pockets and destroy them both one at a time. Hold the line with the green troops under von Manstein. Sorry, not under Manstein, under von Klug, and then. But you need to have solid troops, and these have got the flak plus cannons, and they're all dug in. Their templates are set up like this. So a couple of cannons, engineering companies, anti-air, and quite a number of troops. So I've reduced one unit of troops to be able to put in anti-air and artillery to help me with the unit in the background. I've got a mixture of units combined with fighters, close air support, and tactical bombers. Next area, tactical bombers, close air support, right the way through. Further back, we've also got tactical bombers and air. Over here, you can see tactical bombers who are going to be flying up. Basically, first thing, as soon as we start the war with Russia, talking about that, something that has just happened. They've just, even though we're starting looking at getting a war against them, they've agreed to a treaty, which is giving us reduced time for the implementation of armour. I'm going to go for Army Innovations 2, and I'm not going to start the war against Russia until they've agreed, and we've got Army Innovations 2 as well. So that's something in the background. A bit sneaky, but that's something that helps, and it'll then mean you've got much more advanced tanks later on for dealing with other people. So as soon as the training army, let me just click this forward. As soon as one of these then goes into to being the next level as being regular, I then move them straight into the front line, and then they can start planning. You can see the attack down here. It's running at. You can see we're stronger. You see when the bars at the bottom show how good you are in comparison to the force that's opposing you on the line. And so you can see that it's about 60-40 where those troops are. My green forces are down at the moment at around about 40% the other way. So if they pushed, they would have the advantage, but then I've got this fallback line behind, which just in case things go pear-shaped, then I've got the air power as well. While at the same time, what I'm preparing, I've got the Baltic Fleet area being covered by the subs. ready to take any of their fleets out, and then the Kriegsmarine up on the surface, ready to take down any of their forces that push out, alongside... Oops, wrong one. Alongside... I've got tactical bombers which are providing air support and to help spot their ships. Close air support planes. Then more planes coming in, helping to support, with naval bombers covering this whole area, plus bombers and fighters to cover this whole area to give the fleet the best chance of destroying the Russian fleets when they push into the Baltic. So we're preparing the war stance, and at the moment, construction, pushing in, constructing more factories, right the way through, synthetic to get more oil and rubber to help us produce more in the background. That's where we are at the moment, and we're looking at the research side, researching the radio, delaying tactics, dispersed industry and logistics company, so that we can actually maximise our push into any area in case the infrastructure is bad, which means that we can move faster, encircle them more easily without running out of supplies. And something I do at that stage when we're pushing in with the army going in, I'll then probably transfer over to going to Kurt Student, which gives an out of supply bonus of minus 50%, which means that you can push in, get in behind the troops. If you're short of supplies, bump him in. At least in this version, in the update, it's going to mean that that it'll take you a month to transfer leaders. So if that was the situation, if that was the update, I would be putting him in now, so that he's in place, ready to lead the troops in. Whereas I get the Trickster and Panzer Leader plus Fortress Buster, which are very, very useful from Manstein. But this Commando bonus is very, very useful. So I would build up Kurt Student to be able to help with pushing in. In this version, you can just swap them like that. It's a magical thing, and suddenly you've got the general there within 30 seconds. But normally in the next patch, it's going to be something to watch out for, so you'll have to plan and make sure you've got the right general at the right time. But it means they have the same problems as well. So I'll pause this and I'll get back to you later, and you can see how this is progressing. Okay, it's a little bit later. What's happening in the background? I've changed the theatres. We've got the front line, which is the standard theatre, clicking in, and they've got normal, medium priority, which means they get average amount of equipment. The attack front, which is the very good troops, I've got first priority, high priority. They will make sure that they have the first of the best that comes out. The training theatre, which I've got at the back, I put in low priority. They get the least, where they're the second line. So all the good stuff is going to the front line and the forward attacking force, to be able to maximise the efficiency of what I'm actually producing at the same time. In the background, something I didn't show is the recruitment side. I've got the forces going in. They're all getting fully trained up as much as they can before they come in. So I'm running roughly three different units. So 6 units of infantry, 1 of Panzer Division, which I can then, and I'm doing 2 units of those, 2 divisions of SS troops, 3 units of mountain troops, and 3 units of cavalry. I can, depending on how things go, I can then change, as I get to upgrade things, I can change the light panzer units into being a better unit. I'll demonstrate how to do that, so bear with me a second. Way of doing that, like this heavy division here, it was a standard division. See, looking down, you just see light tanks in this position. This unit was a light tank division, but I upgraded it by going to the clicking here to change division template, go down, and then click on the template that you make in the background. And I'll explain templates and how to do that in a different tutorial. But you can easily change it for one single unit, and I changed the name at the same time so I can tell which one has got that special characteristic, and is getting the heavy tanks and the heavy artillery, which is going to be the forefront of the attack. Is going to slam into the enemy and destroy them. So I'm going to pause this and carry on. I thought you'd better know that before the attack starts, before things start moving forward a bit more. And something I didn't mention is that all of the newly trained and recruited units are going initially into the training army, so they can then move up from being normally deployed to and green up to the highest level of being regular troops. So that's something that's very useful. Get them into this line at the back, and then carry on with their training before they go into the front line to gain the additional 25% bonus. And a reason for hitting Russia at this stage is they've got turmoil in the country. So we want to get into Russia, destroy them as quickly as we can before they're able to fight against us. Take Russia out, and then we've got a huge load of resources. They've got a bigger army. We just have to have a better army, and that's the key to beating the Russians at this stage. Okay, moving forward, the next we go for is radio detection, which means I can build a radar station, which is going to help on the front line and give a little bit of assistance against the enemy and with the fighter side of things as well. So it'll give you extra percentages. So that's something very, very useful to go for at this stage. It'll take 141 days, but that will start to kick in. Okay, I've just got the Army Innovations 2, and next go for the Air Innovations to start improving that side of things. So we can start focusing on the air side, and the last you want to do is go for the naval. Stick to what you focus on as Army and Air, with a little bit of sea-wise, but most of it you want to capture land, secure it, and then later get ready for the invasions. Okay, to allow us to push in through the centre, we want to get some better roads. So let's bump the central area up to at least 6 to allow you to feed through and to support the troops that you're sending in this way. And then we bump this up into the next section, straight up to there, get the oil out of the way, start producing the roadways, and then finish off the bit of production you've got in the background. So you've got to make sure the infrastructure's in place to allow you to support your troops as they're moving forward. Okay, keep an eye on your political power. I had increased, put Martin Bormann in to give plus 50% political power, and it's about time to move from limited conscription, which is 2.5%, up to extensive, which is 5%. You increase the training time, but you basically double your amount of manpower. So click on that. Okay, and suddenly we've got 2.68 million men able to go into the army. Very, very useful at this stage, especially when just about to go into Russia. So you've got these little things you've got to just keep on top of. Okay, next we've got plus 22 heavy tanks. So we're going to go into the special divisions here, and we're going to change this unit here to a heavy Panzer unit. Heavy Panzer 1, that's it. Additional manpower, 25 heavy artillery. We haven't done any of those, but we've got 22 and 40 tanks. It'll use a bit more motorised, so that's what we're going to do. There we go, and that'll set that up and improve the effectiveness of that unit. So let's carry on. Next, I'm going to upgrade the mountain troops. I'm going to put in 2 lots of artillery, engineering company, field hospital, and recon company to allow it to help to reinforce the troops as they're moving forward. So that's where we are for now, and it'll change the support equipment situation, the motorised infantry situation, which is good, the artillery, which is fine, and the manpower where we've got tons of. So that's where we are, 40 for that, boom, and then we're ready to rock and roll, and those will improve on the front line, ready to rock and roll. Now things are moving on, it's time to improve the situation with trade. Now something we need a lot of assistance with is oil, so let's bump this up from the United States, and we'll just go for 3 from the US, and rubber we'll go for British Malaya at the moment, plus a certain amount of chromium. Going to go for the United Kingdom, and we'll just go for 2 of those. That'll kick in. So we're still producing a nice amount of things, and we just let that start to float in. It'll improve what we're producing, give us more numbers to assist the frontline troops, and to give us more of a production line of equipment to keep us running when we do get to war with Russia. Okay, something to watch out for. Now we've got another 150 points. There's, in the background, I'll show you the tactical side. Looking in, let's click on this as an example, showing the tank side. We've actually got the Panzer III ready to go, 100% researched already, well, ahead of time. So we can go to push this without any negative connotations. So as soon as you get the chance to go for this, you're a couple of years ahead, and then you'll have the Panzer III ready to rock and roll. So keep an eye on that. If you follow this line, don't miss your opportunity. So I wanted to point that out now to let you know, to be aware of that with the negotiations with the Russians before you declare war on them. Get ready to start a production line of Panzer IIIs, which will really set you up to be a year or so ahead in the war race. And to go with that, modifying the government, I'm going to link through to have a look. Tank-wise, now what you want to watch out for is you want something that's reliable, but your biggest thing for breaking through is anti-infantry. So I go for soft attack. So rather than, you can go for the heavy, the hard attack, you can always move to this later. Or else you've got the reliability and increased speed. But I see, more importantly, the soft attack plus 5% to give you the bonus for your tank unit for slamming through their front lines. So that's why I choose the MAN company at that stage, ready for when we start producing the Panzer IIIs, to line it all up, ready to rock and roll as soon as you got that first slot. And that'll be in about 50 days. So that'll be on its way, and the Panzer III will then soon after be ready to start kicking out in about 1937-38, about a year or so ahead of schedule. So it's really, really nice to remember that. Okay, July 1939, 29th of July, we have the war ability. We can attack now. We've got these troops who are nearly ready to rock and roll. So what I'm going to do is get them sent straight in, select all, and I'm going to get them straight into the front line here, ready to, even though they're not fully upgraded, they'll move their way in, come under control, get ready to defend, and get ready for our attack front to go in. So, catch you later. And as soon as that's ready, I'm then going to initiate the first attack, or kick the war off, and then initiate the attack. Okay, we're ready to go. Declare war. Conquer. Send. Boom. And we're in. We are at war. Now, slow it down so you can move things where you want them. The air power is going to start going in. They're coming in the war against us. You don't want to join in with with Japan if you can help it. So then you don't have to share things. Now we're on the defensive. The units are in position. We want to stabilise the front line before we then start attacking. So they are attacking us first. We wait for them to bounce on our frontal, and then attack it straight in. So let's look at the air power situation. Clicking in, we have how to set up 100% air superiority while we're waiting for them to just bounce on us completely. I've got nothing in the Belarus or the Ukraine area. I've just got all the planes defending and attacking them on the front line to give us the most edge and to bounce their attack. As soon as their attack is starting to peter out, I then flip it and start attacking them. So that's the plan. That's what I do. Wait for them to attack you. Wait for them to start wearing themselves out, and then you attack and slam straight into them. So that's just to let you know. So I'm going to pause now and catch you later. Okay, it's almost time. That's it. They've just thrown the last of their reserves into the front line in this section. They're bouncing off us. I'm just waiting for that. That's it. And time to go. So now time to initiate the attack. This unit, boom, straight in. Attacking in to punch through this front line of theirs. Yes, we might lose, we might have to fall back in other areas, but that just means they have to fight hard to get in. It'll mean that we've got less area we need to go around to encircle them. So this is the plan. Move out, encircle the upper group, then once they're encircled and destroyed, circle down, destroy the lower group, and then move in and start taking the country. At the same time, in the Baltic, our planes are going in and damaging their capital ships. A little bit further up, they're losing destroyers, So we've got more planes. We've almost got it's a 3-to-2 sort of ratio, and we're going to whittle them away, control this area, stop their trade, and control everything in the background to stop them getting any supplies this way. While we're still pushing in, the air power, looking at the situation, we've still got complete control, and we're destroying their planes. We're operating 46%, doing almost 11 points of damage to their ground unit as they're attacking. So I'm going to maintain this. As soon as we've stabilised there and prevented them from attacking and pushing us too far back, I'm then going to get close attack planes in to help with this front area here. But it's all going pretty well anyway. You can see that we're sort of breaking through even without the air assistance. I'm just using that to hold the front lines to prevent them from breaking through too much, and to allow us to hold as much as possible to make it really, really hard for them to break through. Now let's look at the situation. It's roughly a 3-to-4 to 1. We've lost 12,000. They've lost 43,000. We can keep this sort of a ratio, keep it rocking and rolling like this. If they're losing 4 to 1 compared to us, we can manage, we can weather it, and then we can get in and take them to pieces. So it's this sort of situation. Don't attack until you're ready, and counterattacks are really, really useful. Catch you later. Their battleship has run away and we've managed to catch up with him with our faster ships. He's trying to get away, and I don't think it's going to turn out too well for him. And he's tried to run away again. So it's that sort of situation. Just keep harassing them, keep it going. We're losing a little bit of area here, but it doesn't matter. We've got the troops coming in, and any new recruits are coming in and deploying straight into this front line, ready to rock and roll. And we're breaking through in this zone. Even though it's 3 against 1, this is our heavy panzer area unit, and they're just about to start falling back, and we're about to start breaking through. So we have the edge. As soon as we start breaking through, we can start speeding through with the units, start encircling their forces, start cutting them off and depleting their resources, encircle them and destroy them. So that's the idea. Okay, 15th of August, I'm just shifting over 50 fighters and 100 close support planes to make us neutral air-wise at home, but taking the advantage and getting the air power in the Belarus area. So that'll give us air superiority, and it'll help us break through in this zone and take it to them. Giving us the edge, helping us break through in this section and start flipping things. 16th of August, we have full air superiority in both regions, and it's now going our way. So keep an eye on all of these aspects and the naval side. Let's have a look at what's happening over here. Yeah, we're chasing down the battleships, keep on going in, just keep the pressure on, and at the same time keep producing as much as you can in the background. Monitor your construction, get more factories coming in, keep the oil, keep the factories coming, and keep the infrastructure going so you can support your front line. So just keep on top of the things to allow your war industry to be better than theirs. Okay, now it's the 24th of August, moving things on. In order to secure some of the tougher areas, it's time to start building some land forts in key areas that you don't want the enemy to be pushing past. To make it harder for them to just keep it all together. Form a barrier to hold them back. So we're going to move those up into a more prominent position. So work your way down, and then shift, click these up, and we'll just reorganize and start producing these forts in the background, so that we can just bounce the Russians and make them run out of materials in a war of attrition. So that's out of the way there. We're going to need to bump that up, factory up, as well as get these finished, and then start producing these factories, the forts in the background, to assist and hold the Russians back. But we need to just secure it, secure the centre, keep it. We're in a war with Russia. It's not an easy situation, but you need to maintain and stay on top of it. So little things like that. The additional 15% that you get from having fortifications in there can give you the edge you need to hold the line and to break the Russians, and as well as the additional flak, because they're throwing planes in. The flak helps to increase the armor piercing, and it's got an air attack as well. So you're able to do a multiple situation without a multiple useful thing without having to go for additional tungsten for anti-tank, because you're getting anti-tank with just using steel, which you've got tons of. If you don't understand about that, ask in the comments and I'll explain further how you can work with that. So without further ado, I'm just going to get those in place, and then we're looking at being able to break through. We're holding them. They're seriously trying. We're wearing them out, but we're holding them. This area, we're battling these units. I want to stretch the front out that a little bit more. So from here, sort those units, grab the front line, and I'm going to pull the front line around to there, stretch them out, and give them a little bit more frontage to fight against the Russians. So without further ado, I'll get back to this. And what you've got to bear in mind is that it's going to look bad. It's going to be darkest before the dawn, because what you're looking at, they've got 1.2 million men in the field. We've got 500,000, so we're down. It's about a 2-to-1 ratio, so we have to kill 2-to-1. Now we're doing 65,000 compared to 141,000. We've got more troops on their way being produced at the same time, but we're keeping the right ratio. So as long as we can just hold them at this level, we're going to break them. We just need to build up our logistics side, get the factories coming in, be able to whittle them down, and to win the deadlock and break through. All the green that you're seeing in this area, this is just what I wanted, because the further they push in, the easier it is, once we break through here, to sweep around behind them. They're actually falling into a trap, because it's like the original German plan of drawing the French in and then encircling them during the Schlieffen plan, and it's a similar method that I'm sort of doing. So you can go so far, allow them to go so far, fighting all the way at a 2-to-1 ratio. Yep, you lose ground. We've got plenty of ground. We're still in Poland. We've got loads and loads of ground to lose. It's not even ours. We'll get it all back. So don't worry about that. You might be fretting at this stage. Don't, because we're cutting off their supplies. We're destroying their ability to wage war. We're destroying their destroyers and taking down their battleships. We will win in the end. Okay, 13th of September, we're going in. Hope it shouldn't be. They're actually attacking us. It shouldn't be too long until we take down their battleship. They're really giving it a try. We are holding them in this area, and I don't think it's going to be too long. We've just got the production, almost 6 days to get the radio detection. Improved machine tools on their way, and I've just got dispersed industry, which is just kicking in. So that will up the production to help us to maintain everything in the background and increase our production levels. So that'll help us, and things are going more green as we're holding them. So that's the thing, hold them while we get the numbers on our side. We've lost 99,000 to their 205, so it's just over 2-to-1. As long as it's not under 2-to-1, as long as you're killing more than 2 of theirs to 1 of yours, you're on schedule for holding them as your industry grows. And that's the key to it. Maintain, have as many of these green as possible. Spread your forces. Make sure that you're able to hold the areas. Fall back behind rivers when you need to. And then push back through when they've run out of steam. And at all the same time, maintaining the air superiority you can get. So we're bombing into the Ukraine without anyone trying to stop us. Into Minsk, we're bombing in behind them. The area we have here, we're taking them down. We're doing some damage. The it's pretty even with the fighters. But as soon as we take out their navy, I can then shift the air power from the Baltic Sea over into Poland to give us an advantage. So that's the key to it. So we've got all of these planes which are in these areas which are working in the Baltic Sea at the moment. They're not helping against their land forces, but they will be as soon. So we're looking 300-400 planes which will be able to move straight in to help us in Poland. As long as we can hold them while we destroy their navy, then, and you just keep falling back, and then when that air power comes in, it'll start all kicking in. Your industry will start kicking in, the logistics, this will all start going green. We're going green tank-wise, light tanks, light artillery. These production levels will start going to the green as we start to move into a position where we're able to supply all of our troops. Even though, you see some of these guys, they're falling back. As long as you've got more green on your side than theirs, you've got enough land. We're still in Poland. We haven't even got to Warsaw yet. So you hold them, you maintain that 2-to-1 ratio. 106 against 215. They're pushing hard. We need those. I'm going to shift some of the fighters from the zones here. So I'm going to send those guys from Eastern Germany into here to help with the Polish situation, and that'll give us a little bit more of an advantage. 40%. Let's see how those 30 modern planes assist the situation. So we're losing 2-to-1, but these are all wood fighters that we've got. There we go, and we're now up to 61%. Those 30 that we shifted has started giving us the edge, and we've give some more. Let's shift those guys into there, and there we go. And we've got delay research as well. Brilliant. This will improve our organisation by 15%. And then I'm going to go for elastic defence as well, which is going to help even further. We're one day away from putting in radio detection, which is going to then improve our air situation just at the same time as we then as we're flipping more fighters in. It looks like it's a bad situation and you're falling back, but this is how it is. You draw them into your stronger defences. At the moment we are up to 78% air superiority, so they're coming in. They're running out of steam. Everything of ours is starting to come online, and we've got the troops here. They've held the line. We've got more troops all the time joining this front line. We maintain it as green, and we just push straight up, trap one army, push down, trap the other half of the army, and that's essentially the Russian force just taken out. And that's the way to do it. So yeah. You just maintain things, you fall back, and the more you fall back, the bigger the pocket that you're allowing them to create for themselves, as long as you can maintain the lines. And if you need to pull some of these troops back from this frontal area, pull them back to maintain the integrity overall of your front line, so they don't break through and so they don't encircle you. That's one thing you've got to be aware of. So, let's catch you in a bit. And in fact, I'm going to change the elastic defence and go for the Panzer III 2 years ahead of schedule. It'll take roughly the same amount of time, but we're going to be 2 years ahead with the medium tanks, and that'll make a huge difference with all the rest that you do. We'll do elastic defence after, so let's see just what we can do. And as we're going to get there we go, logistics company is done, that's through, and radio detection as well. Radar, we'll start get those in position, and we then go back to the land doctrine, back to the elastic defence. At the same time, all of these are ahead of schedule. Signal company, start getting that in position. Start helping our troops to be better on the front line, to be more efficient, and to be able to take out more of theirs. So we've lost 112 compared to 228. It seems harsh. We're still doing 2-to-1. But what we've got coming online, recruitment side, we have a lot of troops which are nearly ready. Let's get those in here. Bialystok and allocate them there. Keep that rocking and rolling. So all of these troops which are preparing in the background, they'll be out soon, and they'll be into the front line helping to take the enemy. And we can see in training we have another 133,000 men very, very close to being ready to hit the field. So, you know, there's a lot incoming. It's getting everything in place, setting it all up, keep maintaining a lot more green than they are, and forcing them to lose the attrition war. And we look back now, air power 81%. We are gaining the advantage, and it's time to build some air cover. So putting those two in place will secure this area, help us with the air supremacy. And I'm going to bump those up, so let's get those in. That needs repairing. So always, as soon as if you notice any fortifications that are damaged, keep repairing those fortifications. That's all looking good. Looking very, very good. So keep that rocking and rolling. We'll soon have those to increase our air supremacy even more. The production is going to be coming online, looking at this. So these are looking bad, but we're gaining more green, and we've just gained air superiority in West Poland as well. And then you check exactly where you are. Let's click through. Any major victories? No, but we're keeping them pinned in place, attacking them wherever they are, and they're trying to bomb us, but we're maintaining cover of the sea. If you have any ships that are really severely damaged, keep checking regularly to make sure that anything that's damaged badly is sent back. Like them. Work our way through. The others are looking pretty good. They're looking fine. Let's check the subs. Subs wise, let's send those two back to repair, and just keep it maintained. Send back the ones that are getting into a bad situation, and just keep the attrition going. Keep trying to strengthen your position. Keep building up the additional percentages you get. Improve your troops, and improve your infrastructure for the production of war materials. So, I will catch you later, guys, and I think this is a good place to leave the episode, and I will show you as things go forward.